member from Kingston and the Islands.
Madam Speaker, I'm honoured to rise in the House today to speak on Bill 189 that seeks to recognize the first week of February as Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and I want to thank the member from Sudbury for drawing attention to this very important topic. Many have been touched by mental health challenges, whether it's a friend, a co-worker, a family member, or ourselves. In fact, Madam Speaker, 1 in 3 Canadians experience mental health issue in their lifetime. Our government's investments in community health and addiction, mental health and addictions, have more than doubled since 2003, from $515 million to $1.1 billion. This increase in funding represents an important cultural shift in how our society views and regards those living with mental illness issues. This political commitment recognizes the severe consequences of inaction, especially for our children and youth, our well-being, our social cohesion, and in fact our economy. However, despite the strides that have been made to break down the barriers around mental health, many Canadians still believe eating disorders are a personal choice. They are not. Eating disorders are a mental health condition, and they have the highest mortality rate of all mental illnesses. They can affect anyone, and sometimes that means children as young as 3 years old. As you know, Madam Speaker, I have 2 teenage daughters who are now 17 and 19 years old. They live in a different world than we lived in, and with networking through social media, they have many peers as friends. In fact, they have thousands, but that's another story. They have brought to my attention over the years a number of cases where their friends have made a slow decline in health due to eating disorders, where pounds are not just shed at a drastic and catastrophic rate, but that their organs are actually shutting down. Several have had to be hospitalized in order to be stabilized, and we are currently praying for one who is in the hospital right now getting much needed treatment. Stigma and discrimination too often come from a lack of information and an inability to understand. Stigma and discrimination is a serious barrier to diagnosis and treatment and to acceptance in the community. It prevents individuals from reaching their full potential and leading a happy and healthy, fulfilling life. Building on the great work of local organizations and treatment centers such as the Hotel Dieu Hospital and Addiction and Mental Health Services in Kingston and the Islands, Eating Disorder Awareness Week will increase public understanding, reduce stigma, and encourage people to come forward and seek support and treatment. In 2014, the Federal Standing Committee on the Status of Women produced a report that examined eating disorders specifically in girls and women in Canada. One mother reported, "I feel impending doom, the same impending doom I felt when I was alone at my lowest weight and binge purging 24/7. It's the sense of profound fear that I'm not going to make it out of this eating disorder. I'm not going to be the 1/3 that recovers. I may even be in the 20% that die. There's no place to go in an emergency. There are so few who understand. I still wake up dreading the day. How will I get through it? What will I eat or not eat? How will I control myself from eating trigger foods? I can't focus on anything. I can barely read or write or find joy in anything because I'm constantly paralyzed with fear and anxiety, consumed with indecision and yearning to be numb." Madam Speaker, greater awareness is needed among the general public and among professionals who encounter or treat individuals with eating disorders so that there is better recognition for the onset of symptoms, earlier intervention, which will in return result in more successful support and treatments. Madam Speaker, I lend my full support to Bill 189. Merci, miigwech. Thank you.